Book friends, I think it's time. It's time that we acknowledge the influence that BookTok has had around the world. There are BookTok tables in bookstores. There are BookTok trends that run across every social media platform. You will hashtag BookTok even if you're not on TikTok. BookTok has driven up the overall sales of the book industry, and we are in a renaissance that isn't only because of BookTok. Obviously, there are a lot of things going on in the world that are contributing to people moving back to reading, but bookstores are opening. And BookTok deserves to be taken seriously, despite all of the people who like to malign it and degrade the people who give recommendations that are based off of BookTok books. So I am here today to say that BookTok at this point has been around for a while, long enough to have its own classics. Yes, I know it's not in some literary canon written by somebody in the year 1442 on somebody's syllabus in a college, so it's still a classic. I've identified the 5 BookTok classics. The classic popular book, because we know that BookTok will make a book go viral and everybody will then have to read it. The classic romance, which the idea of romantic love is very specific in the BookTok world. Are you paying attention? You should be paying attention. The classic BookTok dark academia book. Now, dark academia has been around since before BookTok, but I have to tell you that if I don't know anything about a BookTok girly, it's that I know that she loves the dark academia. It's not even an argument. Now, the classic Greek retelling has kind of gone out of fashion the last couple of years just because there was such a huge Greek tectonisance, right? Like a renaissance, but a tectonisance. We, as readers, as a people, as Americans, have been obsessed with Greek things since forever. This is nothing new. However, there was like a back to back of Greek retellings that everybody had to read and everybody was talking about. And it went away for a little while, and now the Odyssey is back, and it's just always going to come back. It's always going to come back. Now I'm starting to see people who are into like Greek scholar writings, like they're getting into Socrates and Plato and like on BookTok though. It's fantastic. And then the final one is the BookTok classic author. The classic author that everybody talks about, no matter what their favorite genre is, they're into this person. And we're going to tell you who it is. So the first category of the classic popular book is none other than this one. And I know that you guys saw it sitting back here and you recognize the cover from there because this cover, this title, this book was everywhere for like 5 years straight. I can spot this book from 2 football fields away. It is that recognizable. Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin was on everybody's list. Everybody has said, you have to read this book. This is such an amazing story. I loved it so much. It made me cry. It's for the gamers. It's for the girls. It's for the guys. Everybody loves this book. It is a good book. The way it gets into the era that it's talking about, it's set in the, when's it set? Let me see. I think there's a date in here. I want to say it's set in the 90s. It's very of the time. There's a lot of nostalgia in the story. It really gets into details of how you would build games, systems. It's really interesting. And in the beginning, it was all the things that I thought it was going to be. And then it became nothing like what I thought it was going to be. I didn't love the ending, but it surprised me in the 3rd act in a way that was completely unexpected. I understand why people have held this book so closely for so long. It is a BookTok classic, as it should be. The story is about a boy and a girl who meet at a certain point, a difficult point in their lives. They lose touch for some time. They see each other again in college, and it turns out that they're both very intelligent, mathematical geniuses. They're into games, they always have been, and a story evolves around what they build together and the ups and downs of life and the tragedies that befall them. And you want to keep going and you want to see what happens. At some point, I wanted to beat them both up, but it's okay. It's okay. It's still a good story. The second category is the classic romance, classic love story of TikTok. It is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I'm sorry, I know there's like billion romance novels, romanticides, rofantasies, whatever you want to call it. There's a billion of them on TikTok. And I know that they talk about them all the time. Romance as a category is the best-selling genre. So how can you choose one of those stories? I'm telling you, they go mad. They go mad for this story. There is a certain type of toxic love that BookTok can't get enough of. Can't get enough of. They love it. They love the ridiculousness. They love the back and forth. They love the will they, won't they. They love the never-ending, over-monologuing, newfangled version of Dawson's Creek. That's what they love. And I loved it too when I was a teenager. And so I'm not going to hate on it. I do not think this is a love story. This is not my version of love. If today this was my version of love, I would be worried about myself. But if you're 20, I got you. I got you. I see. Yes. Think too much, obsess too much, worry too much about things that don't matter. You're crazy. That's what this story is. Two people, Regan and Aldo, who haven't been understood by anybody, have finally felt seen, understood. Don't need to tell you anymore. Next category is classic dark academia. Now, the first two, I feel like I had a pretty solid argument to say that that's the pick for that category, for that BookTok classic. This one might get a little pushback because there's a lot of Donna Tartt fans out there. There's a lot of discussion of like, what's really dark academia? Did people go overboard and then everything was dark academia and it really wasn't dark academia and you were just putting people in schools and giving them skirts and jackets and mysteries, and that wasn't the story? As a member of the generation in which Cruel Intentions was a cult classic, not the original with the poofy white hair, the remake with Ryan Phillippe, if you know, you know, I'm going to say If We Were Villains is a perfect dark academia. It is navel-gazing. It is students in a college that specializes in their department in the study of Shakespeare. They are Shakespearean scholars who are also actors, who are also as dramatic and tortured and ill-fated as the best of the bards characters in his stories. I personally enjoyed the actual references to Shakespeare's work. There's a lot of them, and they actually monologue them for some parts, a lot of parts inside of the story. I enjoy that more than some of the shenanigans. I saw where the ending was going. I don't think I loved it, but if you want something that says dark academia, this is where you stop or start or in betweeny. I don't know, but this is it. In case you want to know, this is it. Our fourth and almost final category is the Greek retelling. I know that you guys, there's nobody that's going to try and argue that Song of Achilles is not the BookTok classic for the Greek retelling. Yes, Madeline Miller was killing them. Jennifer Saint was killing them. There's lots of Greek retellings that were coming out that everybody was loving, that we were talking about. There are more to come, I am sure. There are probably even some that are better than this one. But this is the one that to this day, people will sit on the internets and say, made me cry. This broke my heart. It's the most amazing love story ever. This is the one. The Song of Achilles is the story of Achilles. We should know that story. But it is focused more on Achilles' story as it collides with Patroclus, the love of his life. Now, we all know Achilles was gay. Now, that relationship has been hinted at over the years in popular retellings. Hello, Brad Pitt. But to my knowledge, this is the first story where their love story is actually the center of the story. And a lot of what he ends up doing, he meaning Achilles, what he ends up doing later is affected by this love affair, by this relationship. It is a wonderful love story with a narcissist because that is what Achilles is. It makes Achilles' story very accessible, and Patroclus is a very likable character. It's a fairly easy read and it's really well done. And if you want to get into Greek retellings, this is a good beginner spot because you meet a lot of the characters in the other stories in this story. And then you can go off and you can hear more about them. All right, the last category, the one you came here for. I know, the number one, well, fifth category, but the number one BookTok classic author is none other than the queen herself, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know who you thought I was going to say. There are some that you could argue, maybe some Emily Henrys out there that you could argue, but you'd be wrong because Taylor Jenkins Reid crosses all the boundaries. For the people who like lit fic, she shows up. For the people who like romantasy, they like her too. For the people who just like reading, she is on everybody's list in one way or another. It's either Daisy Jones and the Six, which was on everybody's list, or this was on everybody. This is still on everybody's list. This is on everybody's list. This green dress is almost as high up there as Tomorrow, as a recognizable cover across 15 auditoriums, across 15 stadiums. You know it. Don't lie. And then more recently, people have been digging Atmosphere. Not everybody though. Not everybody has been into this one. However, those first two, these two, everywhere. And anytime she releases anything, everybody's picking it up. Now, R.F. Kuang might also be able to qualify for this list, but again, there's just not that universality. There's not the universality the way there is with Taylor Jenkins Reid. There are people who find her writing problematic. They're like, why are you always writing about these others? Why is this central to so many of your characters? You can have that argument. You can have whatever argument you want. Does not change the fact that this lady's books are everywhere. She is what's her name? She's no Colleen Hoover. She's not doing those numbers. However, Colleen Hoover is for a very specific demographic. Taylor Jenkins Reid has crossed those boundaries. People who take themselves seriously as book readers, they read her books. People who don't take themselves as seriously as book readers, they read her books. People who kind of don't like books read her books. I don't know, but she's everywhere. She's like a Stephen King, which I know probably just said something, probably just pissed somebody off. Good. The point is just that she's for all kinds of folks. And I didn't say that. They've said that. Look her up. Look her up and you'll know. My personal favorite is Daisy Jones and the Six. It is the first one that I read of hers. And I didn't realize that it wasn't a real kind of reimagined story of an existing band. And I know there was like influence, but it's just so well written. This, I think, is her best book. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo was good. I see why people love it. It's a really fast read. Again, didn't stick the landing for me. I would have liked something different, but that's okay. Still a great read. All right, that's it, guys. Those are all the classics. Those are all the book talk classics as decided by a professional panel of one. Submissions for next year are open. And I think if you'd like to disagree with the panel, you can apply below and tell me why. Tell me, you better not just tell me that that's not the classic for that category. You better, if you're going to come tell me that I'm wrong, you better come tell me what is the right one instead. And also, you better not be coming to tell me that like these categories are not real because book talk's not serious or something like that, because that's not what this video is about. And if you don't understand what we're trying to do here, take it somewhere else because we're having a good time. We're having a good time over here, guys. It's not that serious. By the way, I'm Amanda from Most Bookish. The next video is going to be a haul, I think, or a library visit, something like that. It's going to be exciting. Stay tuned. Bye, guys.